Greetings and welcome to another Pokemon 2019 or Pokemon Journeys anime episode review. This time I'm talking about episode 50, so let's get to it. Episode 50 begins at Ceres Institute. Chloe gets home from school and she is greeted by Yamper. Chloe sends out Eevee and she pets both of them. Professor Ceres then calls Chloe so that she can join Ash and Go in talking to the curator of the Pewter Museum of Science who appeared back in episode 38. It's nice to see that even minor characters can have recurring appearances in this series. It makes it feel like the series has continuity, that every episode can matter in the grand scheme of things, and that the things that happen in each episode are not forgotten and they can have an impact in what happens in the future. Since Ash and Go dabbled with fossils in episode 38, the curator wants them to investigate more fossils on his behalf. He wants Ash and Go to travel to the wild area in the Galar region so that they can investigate the rare Galar Region Fossils. Ash and Go accept immediately, but Chloe hesitates initially, saying that she has school to worry about. Until Eevee shows that she wants to go on the trip, so Chloe ends up deciding to go as well. They all get on a plane and they head to the Galar region. On the plane, Chloe reveals that her teacher told her to write a report about the trip to make up for missing school. In episode 49, it was revealed that Go also has school, but he can skip class most of the time, and he must only attend when there is a test. And now in episode 50, Chloe can also skip school, and she only needs to write a report to make up for it, so their school is pretty lax when it comes to attendance. So, Ash, Chloe, and Go arrive at the wild area, and they marvel at the sight of so many Pokemon. Pikachu and Eevee start playing around, and Eevee runs into a Boldore on accident. Boldore attacks Eevee with Stone Edge, and Eevee runs towards Chloe in fear. Cinderace uses Blaze Kick to destroy the Stone Edge before it can hit Chloe and Eevee. Boldore then uses Harden, but Cinderace uses Quick Attack, which knocks Boldore over, and Go then catches the Boldore. Go actually had to battle a Pokemon before catching it this time, which is rare. After Boldore's capture, they head to the dig site and they decide to begin their search for fossils. However, a Mudsdale uses Double Kick on some rocks which are sent flying towards Chloe and Eevee. Pikachu intercepts them with Iron Tail before they can hit Chloe and Eevee. That's twice now that Chloe and Eevee needed saving, and coincidentally they were saved from rocks both times. Mudsdale's trainer apologizes. He introduces himself as Gasattsu, and he says that he is looking for fossils. He wonders if Ash, Chloe, and Go are also searching for fossils, and Ash says that they are, so Gasattsu takes them to the fossils, which Chloe notes are just parts of a fossil and not the whole thing. Gasattsu says that this is true, but that they should find the whole thing if they just dig around. Cara Liss then appears, a character that everyone that played Pokemon Sword or Shield should recognize since she is the one that restores the fossils in the games. Now, her name in Japanese is Ukatsu, which literally means careless. Her English name is instead a pun on the word careless, but her name is careless regardless, which is of course ironic. Gasattsu, on the other hand, means rough, and Cara Liss tells him that he is rough several times throughout the episode, so they are both named after their main personality trait. Gasattsu introduces Cara Liss and he says it's time to begin their research. It turns out that Cara Liss forgot her pickaxe. Gasattsu lends her one, saying that she really is careless. This is a running gag in this episode. Both Cara Liss and Gasattsu act in a way that befits their name, and they then call each other out on it. Ash, Chloe, and Go offer to help in searching for fossils, and so they all start searching. They dig, and eventually they end up with 4 trays that contain a part of a fossil each. These are the 4 fossils you can find in Pokemon Sword and Shield, the fossilized Drake, Fish, Bird, and Dino. Ash, Chloe, and Go are bewildered at first because these are all just pieces, and they can't figure out how they fit together. Cara Liss explains that this is the excitement of Galar fossils. Any combination could be the right one. She proceeds to combine the fossilized fish and dino together to create Arctozolt. Meanwhile, Gasattsu combines the fossilized bird and drake together to create Dracozolt. Both Gasattsu and Cara Liss explain what the Pokemon they created could have been like when it was alive, which is why they put the fossils together the way that they did. They even named them, suggesting that in the anime this is the first time these Pokemon have been discovered. Looking at the fossil combinations, Go says that they look like they could be right just as much as they could be wrong. Which is funny because that's essentially the Galar fossil Pokemon in a nutshell. Now I want to take this chance right here to ask you a question, dear viewer. Which of the 4 Generation 8 fossil Pokemon is your favorite? If you can, please leave your answer in the comment section down below. I feel that most people will say Dracovish, which is my answer as well. So, satisfied with their combinations, Gasattsu and Cara Liss decide to restore the Pokemon. Now at this point in the episode, they make you think that Arctozolt and Dracozolt are the 2 fossil Pokemon that will be revived. However, I knew something would happen that would change this because I knew going into this episode that Dracovish would be one of the 2 fossil Pokemon that is restored because of this poster, while the other one would be either Dracozolt or Arctozolt going by the preview for this episode. And indeed, something does happen. After they put a lid on each of the boxes that contains the fossils, Gasattsu and Cara Liss forget which box contained which fossil, so they put the wrong combinations into each machine. However, they don't pay it much attention since Gasattsu says that they are all the same in the end. At this point, I knew that Dracovish and Arctozolt would be the ones that are restored. The restoration process takes 4 hours, so the group decides to cook something to eat so that they can pass the time. Gasattsu and Cara Liss say that since they are in the wild area, they must cook curry. This is of course a reference to Pokemon Sword and Shield. So, everyone starts working on preparing the curry. Everyone does something different and then they put everything together. Gasattsu ends up putting whipped cream on the curry as a secret ingredient, something that Chloe was preparing. Everyone is weirded out by the unusual combination at first, but it turns out that the curry is delicious, and so everyone happily eats their fill. You can actually make this whipped cream curry in Sword and Shield by adding fresh cream as the key ingredient. The machines then finish the restoration process soon after everyone is done eating, so they all gather around to meet the newly restored fossil Pokemon. I love how Cara Liss and Gasattsu smile like mad scientists. They know that they have created a chimeric Pokemon that could be considered an abomination of nature. And, like I predicted, Dracovish and Arctozolt are the 2 that are restored. Ash is happy to see the 2 of them, but Chloe notes that they look very different from what Cara Liss and Gasattsu predicted. Gasattsu says that while it did not match his prediction, you can tell the potential it had. He proceeds to name Arctozolt, and he describes how it might have lived based on his own hypothesis. Cara Liss does the same thing for Dracovish. I love how Dracovish seems to be very happy that it was named. Ash greets Dracovish and I was like, yeah Ash, claim it as your Pokemon, since I knew going into this episode that Ash could catch Dracovish. So I was glad to see that Ash quickly approached Dracovish and he started acting friendly with it. Now Dracovish tries to bite Ash and Ash avoids the bite, but Dracovish still chases after him trying to bite him. Ash has Pikachu use Electro Web so that Dracovish can be stopped, but Dracovish easily breaks through the Electro Web and it uses what I assume to be Water Gun, which Pikachu dodges. However, the attack hits Arctozolt in the face, which angers it, and it uses what I assume is Icy Wind to freeze the ground. This stops Ash and Pikachu in their tracks and Dracovish crashes into them, and it keeps running with Ash and Pikachu on its back. Arctozolt continues its rampage and it freezes Cara Liss and Gasattsu. Cinderace then melts the ice with Pyro Ball. Arctozolt then turns to Chloe and it fires off another Icy Wind. Eevee pushes Chloe away and so they both avoid the hit. Go decides to use his newly caught Boldore to calm Arctozolt down. It's weird that he opts to use a Pokemon he just caught instead of using Cinderace, who would have a type advantage in this situation. Meanwhile, Dracovish is still running around with Ash and Pikachu in tow. They run through a forest and 2 Rookie-D end up on top of Dracovish and Ash. Now at this point I thought, man, would it be great if Ash caught one of these Rookie-D. But of course, Ash is not really in a situation where he could. Dracovish ends up running into a lake and it swims underwater with Ash and Pikachu still holding onto it. Meanwhile, Go and Boldore get ready to battle Arctozolt, who just stands there. It turns out that Arctozolt was using Charge to store energy. After it's done charging, it goes for the attack. The episode then cuts back to Ash. Dracovish keeps swimming around and Ash realizes that all Dracovish wanted was to swim, which I guess is fitting for a Pokemon that is described as not being able to breathe outside of the water in its Pokédex entries. A Rookie-D then lands on Ash's head once again and it smiles like it's part of the group. All I could think of was, now is your chance, Ash, catch it, it's right there. But of course, he doesn't catch it. Considering that the new opening shows Ash's Dragonite with a Rookidee on its head, and now this episode has a Rookidee land on Ash's head twice, could it be that they are hinting that Ash might catch one? I certainly hope so, though this could just be a coincidence. Ash then tells Dracovish that they should go look around some more. Dracovish rejoices and it runs off once again. The episode cuts back to Go. Boldore uses Harden to tank Arctozolt's attack, and then Boldore uses Stone Edge, which Arctozolt is able to withstand. Dracovish then returns to the dig site and it crashes into Arctozolt, and this causes a massive explosion. Ash, Go, and the Pokemon all end up knocked over in the same position. Ash approaches Dracovish to see if it's alright, and Dracovish bites Ash's head, which reminds me of Ash's Gible and Ash's Turtwig. And it also reminds me of most of the Pokemon that James owned. Go then approaches Arctozolt to see if it calmed down, which it did. Cara Liss and Gasattsu then say that Ash and Go should look after the fossil Pokemon, and so Ash catches Dracovish and Go catches Arctozolt, which is what I predicted would happen in my video on the preview for this episode. This is of course amazing, especially because Ash caught Dracovish, his 5th capture in Pokemon Journeys, his first fossil Pokemon, and his first Generation 8 Pokemon. Now this does mean that my prediction of when Ash might catch his 5th Pokemon in Pokemon Journeys was slightly off, but predictions are bound to be off from time to time. What matters is that Ash finally caught another Pokemon in this series, and it's one amazing Pokemon. The episode then cuts to Ceres Institute, where Ash and Go show their new fossil Pokemon to the curator of the Pewter Museum. He thanks them for their report and for their research. Chloe tells her father that she had a lot of fun on the trip and she decides to write her report on it. The episode ends with Chloe writing said report while Livy falls asleep next to her. I am sure that she will go on many more adventures from now on, and that's the episode. Overall, this was a very fun episode. It's great that Chloe got to travel with her Eevee for the first time, and I hope to see more of her in future episodes. Cara Liss and Gasattsu are fun characters, and I love that Ash caught Dracovish, which is definitely one of my favorite Generation 8 Pokemon. His team gets yet another amazing addition, and I can't wait to see Dracovish in action. I also can't wait to see what Ash catches next. I am looking at you, Grookey. Also, I loved Dracovish as a character since it was just so silly and funny. So yeah, this episode was great, and what an amazing way to start 2021 for the Pokemon anime. But that's the video. As always, leave your own thoughts down in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did and would like to see more like it, then please consider subscribing to my channel. I love Pokemon and I love making videos on both the anime and the games. Also, please consider clicking the links on screen so that you can check out more videos like this right away. Thank you very much for watching, and let's meet again in the next video.